and celebrate is the fact what's the word I'm looking for? An unheralded group of very clever people make their own kazoos. In fact, that started many, many years ago. I've got quite a display back here on my table of what I will call homemade attempts at making kazoos. And the first one to show you is what I'm calling the prehistoric Stone Age attempt at making a kazoo. Now you can see that Alabama Vest may have gotten his idea from this kazoo, which is not a kazoo at all, but it's a piece of stone and has a kazoo turret on it. But of course, it doesn't play anything. But somewhere in history, I got a frog in my throat this morning. Somewhere in history, somebody tried to make a kazoo, a Stone Age kazoo. Maybe they were in the Stone Age, and maybe it was last week. I don't know. But this is it. This is their effort. It looks like a kazoo. It's kind of too heavy to be a kazoo, but it'd be good for conking somebody in the head with it. That is the Stone Age. That's how far back kazoos go. Back to the Stone Age. And this is a Stone Age kazoo attempt. Okay? We have many other items here on the table, and we're going to go through them one at a time. I would hope culminating in the most spectacular kazoo that you have ever seen. Anyway, we've got a guy here. I'm reaching over here to get this guy. This is a homemade kazoo, right? Pretty good. I don't know whether he used or he or she used a kazoo. This seems, some of these parts seem, doesn't have any membrane in it, of course. And as we have mentioned before, here at Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum, we don't try to fix things. We don't try to restore them. We take them as we get them, and we display them just exactly the way they came to us. And this guy right here, that's let's see how long is this guy? Let me get my thing here before I knock everything over, which happens very easily around here. This guy is 12 foot long, 12 inches long. Okay, pretty good, and sounds pretty good when you hear it, but it needs a membrane. I've have attempted at times to place the membrane at least, but that didn't work because this thing is locked in here. It's either rusted or whatever else happens to metal. It's not coming loose. But that's a pretty interesting kazoo. That's a very simple design. Probably, certainly not as, let me get this guy here, not as complicated. Oh, look out, everything's falling over. This is kind of haphazard. How do you like this guy? Now, this one does work. Look at that. Machine made. This is machine made. If you unscrew, I'm going to unscrew this guy right here and show you that this is not crimped or bent or in any way it's not put together with glue. Oh, there goes that on the foot. This has got a machine. See, that's machine made. Okay, see that? That whole bottom there. Look at that guy. Is that beautiful? That's beautiful. And this part here, which as you can see, is also, interestingly enough, is machine made. See that? It's just unbelievable. It's a beautiful piece of work. And as far as we know, now we've had this kazoo on display in Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum for the last several years. And during that time, of course, we have received literally thousands of emails and etc. and kazoos from people around the world. We've only heard from one other person who had a kazoo like this. So I don't know whether they were manufactured for sale by somebody. But of course, as you can imagine, there's not one marking on this kazoo or on this whatever you want to call it that tells us anything about the maker or whose idea this was or whatever or how it was made. That's probably the most unusual, one of the most unusual kazoos in the world. Excuse me. I got all kinds of stuff. I'm getting old. Hey, okay. Now that's a good idea. That's a good idea for a kazoo right there. But of course, what can I tell you? There's always somebody else who's going to upstage that guy, and that would be this guy. And this is the what I call the Could that be the kazoo song? Kazoo song. That's my kazoo. Woo, wow. This is unbelievable. This has, as you can see, it's got a machine gun or an assault rifle grip on it here. So you can aim it. It's got some valves, but of course the valves are not valves at all. They're just decorative. I don't even know what to call this. Is this beautiful or what? And this guy is, what happened to my yardstick? This guy is in fact 22 inches long. 22 inches long. It's got double horns on it. It's got valves on it. And then, of course, which work. Of course, the double horns work pretty good. Of course, you can see that this inventor or this engineer or this constructor used a real plastic kazoo as a trigger. And it just stuck the plastic kazoo with a little colored, little painted tape around the edge. That works just fine. So this does qualify it as a homemade kazoo, right? Yeah, okay. Now, moving on. Moving on. Ow, 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 ow. Put this guy back over here. And let's see, we've got... Oh, here's a little interesting guy here. This is very interesting. This is very similar to the bigger one that we saw a couple of minutes ago. See this guy here? And this guy is... Hey, the darn ruler keeps sliding on the floor. And this guy is... looks like 8 inches. That's 8 inches there. Okay. Okay? I still don't have a kazoo song. No melodies are coming to my mind. So we'll put this one aside and say this is probably one of the nicer that we have several homemade kazoos on Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Review. Uh, Take a look at them because a lot of times I get pictures of kazoos that people say they have made, but I don't ever get the actual kazoo. But this is the actual kazoo. This was made by somebody out there. All kazoo makers are gonna be anonymous today because we don't want to play any favorites. Okay? So these are unusual kazoos, handmade and shown only on Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum website and today on National Kazoo Day, the National Kazoo Day on YouTube. Okay? Now, I've got one here. I got to show you this. Because you heard that expression, everything but the kitchen sink. And this guy took that literally, and this is what I'm going to call a baking pan, a cupcake pan kazoo. Okay? It's got a kazoo. Here's the kazoo part right here. Here's the kazoo part right there. See that kazoo is a cupcake pan, and on the end here is a flour sifter. This actually works. See, it's a sifter, right? Sifter sister. And on top are some, what I think are cookie cutters. And then you have the kazoo. Not a bad tune. I can't imagine how old this is, but it's working just fine. This is your cupcake pan kazoo. Yeah, you've never seen anything. The only place you're going to see stuff like this is at Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum or on Captain Kazoo's review on YouTube. And that's what's happening today. We're reviewing some handmade, homemade kazoos. What can I tell you? Okay, now I got another one. I got another one that you got to see. Oh, by the way, one piece did fall off that, and that was the grater. The grater, right, for grating. Wow, that's dangerous. Okay, now there's one kazoo in this odd collection that I've got here today that I feel is very important that we recognize this kazoo. This kazoo is this kazoo right here. This is a plastic kazoo. This is a Kazooby kazoo, a plastic Kazooby kazoo that was made for the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team in Iraq. Okay? The 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team, called the Sky Soldiers, is an airborne infantry brigade combat team of the United States Army based in Vicenza, Italy. It is the United States European Command's conventional airborne strategic response force for Europe. The reason we're focusing on this particular kazoo today is because A couple of years ago on National Kazoo Day, I believe it was a couple of years ago. Uh, we sent 5,000 kazoos uh, to Iraq and Afghanistan for the troops. Compliments of Kazooby Kazoos. Now, I'm not affiliated with Kazooby Kazoos, but you'll hear me talk a lot about Kazooby because they make the best kazoo in the world. We've had a lot of trouble with kazoos from the Orient, kazoos from other places in the world, none of which match up or equal the quality of kazoos that are made by Kazooby Kazoos. And this 173rd Airborne Brigade, excuse me. Hey, this is informal, you know. Airborne Brigade. Uh, this particular, I've got some notes here that the 173rd served 3 tours in the Middle East, participated in the initial invasion of Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, and had tours in Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. The brigade returned from duty in eastern Afghanistan in July 2008. So, welcome back, gentlemen, and your name will live in history for a number of reasons. Not the least, of course, is the fact that you got your own kazoo. Okay, so let's hear it for the 173rd Airborne. Very good. All right. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I come to the part of the program that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. And that is when I introduce the famous, and I say famous, rolling ball sculpture kazoo. Can I hear it for the rolling ball sculpture kazoo? Rolling ball sculpture kazoo. Rolling ball sculpture. Fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to show this running, but I've got a ball here. Let me see if it'll run. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's put it in the. Let's see what happens. Bingo. Okay, the famous made by a local artist, a friend of mine who is a sculptor, and he made this rolling ball sculpture, which I wish I had a way to do this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have. That's the problem with being unprepared all the time. Is that you're always unprepared, right? Right. Okay. Let's see what. Supposing I lifted this up here and just hold it like that. Okay? The rolling ball sculpture kazoo. Okay? What can I tell you? Have you ever seen anything like this before? I don't think so. Only available at Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum, the world's only rolling ball sculpture kazoo. And I'm going to put it back over here on the table. Okay, okay. Let's put this guy right back over here on the table. And let's take the ball out here. Get the ball out. And see if this guy will run here. Can we see this? Is that fabulous or what? That what else can I tell you? What else can I tell you? Anyway, that's you realize how long this I don't know what to do. What we need is a song for National Kazoo Day. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? We need a song. Write a song. Send the song to Captain Kazoo at gmail.com. Send me the words or send me a make a video. Thank you, kids. Make a video or an MP3 file or whatever. We want to have a kazoo song, and this challenge goes out to everybody. Everybody who's ever, there's one other kazoo that unfortunately I've got to show you. But unfortunately, I'm calling this the worst kazoo ever made by anybody. And this is the junk kazoo that was put out by Barnes & Noble in the How to Play the Kazoo book. Remember this kazoo? Piece of junk that just fell apart and ended up with these incredibly sharp edges that are it's like a switchblade knife. It just could kill you. And we blew the whistle on them. They got somewhat perturbed, but they pulled the whole idea, the whole kazoo box. Remember the little box? Now had they put a kazooby kazoo like this in that box, they'd have a hit on their hands today, and Captain Kazoo would be pushing this item as a Christmas gift for children around the world. But unfortunately, they decided to save $1 and put out this junk. See all these things here? These are parts of that kazoo that people have sent me following my disclosure of the fact that these things were just junk and potentially dangerous. And people are still sending me these kazoos because the DVD Hum Don't Blow is out on the market. People all over the world are saying, wow, that Barnes & Noble, they certainly blew that one. They certainly didn't do us justice on that one. Anyway, what can I tell you? I'm going to close it down now with another song from our kids. When the Saints come marching in. This is Captain Kazoo saying, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Have a happy and a exciting National Kazoo Day. And remember, this time next year, I want to have a kazoo song. Okay? See you later. Keep on humming. Okay? Happy National Kazoo Day, and keep on humming. This is Captain Kazoo saying, woo! Give me a song. Give me a song.